So yeah, over to you. Anything and everything you have for us.
Awesome. So first is, we don't want to do a PPT episode where, we keep talking and you guys fall asleep after a while, and then we don't know where this is going, right? So essentially what we want to do is do a quick introduction of what DAOs are. What are the opportunities, what are the trends that are coming up in this particular space, whether you are looking to work for a DAO, whether you're looking to either build a DAO in some sense, or either you're going to just figure out how this entire space is evolving, because DAOs are closely related to how the work culture or the entire work environment is going to change in the next 10 years. And if you have that knowledge, I think compared to all your peers, you would be way better equipped to go out there and take advantage of this trend, right? It's always good to be early. And then what we do is just about after a 5 to 10 minute introduction, we will go ahead and open this up for questions, primarily because this is a very practical topic. Right? So I can keep going on about the technology behind DAOs, and I can go on about communities and why it's great, or how good the pays are in some of these DAOs that you guys can work in. Uh, Instead, I would like to answer real questions that you have, and that also gives me a feedback of where you are in terms of your current knowledge of where DAOs are. Right. So uh, I think you can start posting uh, your questions in the chat, and I'll keep taking them up as they come in the sequence of things. Uh, Till then, let me just go ahead and give you a very quick introduction of what DAOs are. Right, DAOs essentially look at this as a cooperative. So essentially, if you know the example of, let's say, Amul or Lijjat Papad or something like that, you will see that India actually has had a very rich culture of cooperatives. So how is this different? When human beings started trading with each other, and people started hiring more people to do their work. Imagine thousands of years ago, someone hired the first employee for their farm, to just go and work on the farm and pay them a little bit of wages. What this does here is it separates the ownership of the enterprise, which is risk part, from the management of the enterprise. And this is how what we call a company today was born. Because today, if Reliance doesn't sell enough of whatever they're selling, the company goes down, but the employees still get paid, right? So there's a difference between owners who are taking risk versus employees who are actually putting in their time and making things work out there. And this resulted in a beautiful era of industrialization where we could gather thousands of people in companies and build something like a Google or something like a Ford Motors or Tesla today, right? This is the genesis of how human beings have been interacting and organizing in a business kind of an environment. Now, imagine this, that you have a company, but essentially this company is still being run in a very opaque manner, right? You don't know what are the day-to-day decisions. You don't know how much money is being spent on what. People don't get that democratic access per se. Uh, and also, one major thing that exists in this current system, which is a big problem that DAOs are going to solve, is the fact that as a part of a company, as a shareholder, you get to vote as much as the money that you've invested, right? Whereas if you contributed to making of that company, you get a more say, right? So this is one problem that we've not seen too many DAOs solve till date, but this is the next set of trends that we are going to see. One of the core components here of DAOs is also remote work. Today, hardly anyone wants to go to an office from 9 to 6, sit in a cubicle and work every day, right? That's not something that people want to do. In the next 10 years, with more proliferation of internet, better infrastructure everywhere, we will see more people will want to work from a beach. More people would want to work from their hometown, right? Wherever they want to go. And this means that work has to be distributed, and how to distribute this work and put it on a blockchain is what we are going to see as a DAO. One of the interesting things about DAOs is that it covers every kind of an organization. See, decentralized autonomous organization. This I started with the example of a corporate or a business entity, but imagine an NGO being a DAO. Imagine a group of people. Like I was talking to someone and they said, Ganpati Mitra Mandal, those self-organizing entities that exist across the country, they are essentially DAOs. People come together, they pull in money, they mostly not vote, but mostly consensus-wise decide on how things are done, and they execute it together, right? So that's like a very small form of what you could think of uh, as a DAO, right? This this in terms of now marrying this concept with technology, you will see that DAOs are perfect for grassroots movement, right? What you do is you say, today, what is my community, right? My community, my tribe is the people who relate with my values, who are on the same mission of doing something. So let's say if you want to improve beaches in Mumbai, someone takes an initiative, they start cleaning it, 100 people start cleaning it, and then suddenly you have celebrities starting cleaning it, and then there are donations coming in to clean up the beach. Suddenly it becomes a movement. Now this, we don't consider this traditionally as an organization, but what I think is mostly DAOs are going to be centered around movements and values, where people want to take the world tomorrow, right? And yes, so this is a very relevant question. Satish Kumar is asking, are DAOs like WhatsApp group? It's exactly like WhatsApp group. They are exactly like WhatsApp group, but imagine thousands of people in this. So imagine a full bunch of people who are aligned to your particular mission. And for this mission, they will contribute the money, they will bring in money from somewhere. And when the mission starts making money, if it does, then everyone participates and everyone gets the upside as well. So this is probably the most democratic format that we've ever seen for DAOs out there. One big problem that exists right now with DAOs is that there is no platform. Today, the state of DAOs is not very great, frankly speaking, because every DAO is organized inside a Discord group. Discord groups are very messy. They're not very easy to keep up with. So it presents a challenge. Generally speaking, when I talk to founders or when I talk to DAO contributors, I see that they are contributing to 2 or 3 DAOs at max. They can't work for more than that. So that's the general rule of thumb right now. But what these DAOs do is that they come towards a mission. I think someone asked a very good example here. Sumit Kaul has asked, can you please explain cabin DAO? So let's center the entire session today around cabin DAO. Let me go ahead and explain what cabin DAO is doing, right? Cabin DAO says that we want decentralized cities, right? And to build decentralized cities, we are not going to build an entire city first. We are going to start with a cabin, simple hut in some place, and people will run it, right? So what they did was they created a Discord group, they published it on Twitter, they got a bunch of people who are just interested in this idea. Then they launched a token which you can go in the Discord group and buy it. This token, you just need one of this token, right? I think the price of that token today is $2 or something like that. So it's not a money making scheme. It's not like they're telling you buy my token to get your 100x. What they're saying is, with this token, you get access to our community. So imagine you have to spend $2, $5 to get into their community. Once you have that, you get access to all the guilds out there. And these guilds essentially could be marketing guilds, technology guilds, communication guilds, writers guilds. Imagine these guilds to be like departments of an organization, right? So I could go and I could say, hey, I want to join, let's say, the marketing guild here, and contribute. So in that marketing guild, so Nirmal is asking, are guild projects? Think of guilds as departments inside a particular company, right? So if you have a HR department, they do certain specific work and they get paid for it. If you do growth, you get paid for it, and then you work in a particular department that is looking after growth. Uh, Guilds are similar. They are organized by skills. They're not organized by their end goal, mostly. And when you go, so imagine if you go to a marketing guild, there will be a bunch of bounties listed. They use this app called Clarity, which is a decentralized bounty app. And on Clarity, you can see that they have a ton of uh, bounties posted, which basically means that when you go uh, and participate in this community, you can earn their own tokens. So the idea here is that when you participate, you earn their tokens. And when you earn their tokens, you essentially become sort of a shareholder of this community in itself. Because as the community grows, the price of token is going to go up because more and more people will want to join and they will want to buy these tokens. So that is how it's supposed to happen in theory. Right now, we are at a very, very early experimental stage of where these DAOs are. And we are looking at various experiments being conducted. In terms of Cabin DAO, if I join their marketing group, marketing guild, and I said, okay, I will manage your Twitter account. I need $1,000 every month to do that. That proposal will be put up for vote. People will decide, okay, yeah, this guy looks good. He can handle our Twitter. Let's give him $1,000 a month to handle our Twitter account. And now from the DAO treasury, remember that we all bought these coins to participate in the DAO. This money is coming to me and it will come to me in form of cabin tokens as well, right? So essentially, this DAO is centered. Now we could start various bounties and we could say, hey, someone needs to design a website. Someone needs to do this. Someone needs to do that. And as you post more bounties, more people come and start work for you. Ideally speaking, this should be their salary, right? So they will sell a portion of those tokens, but keep a portion because they think the project is valuable enough to shoot up in price later on. And that is how you also sort of become a shareholder. It is almost like uh, early Reliance employees getting Reliance shares, right? When the share price goes up, they also get the upside out of it. So this is like a very, very basic understanding of what a DAO is. And I see some very interesting questions coming here. Some of them are really, really important. Some of them are very simple doubts that people might have. So what I would say is go ahead and post anything that you want. Nothing is silly here. Okay. We are all learning and we are all here to figure things out. DAOs are the absolute frontier. This is the cutting edge of Web3. And a lot of questions need to be answered still, but that's also the advantage. If you really play it right and become a good DAO contributor, there is a ton of money to be made out here. I'm not advertising the numbers here, but the payments are really, really good because there are fewer people today who understand how to contribute to a DAO in the first sense. So there is a demand supply unbalance. And if you take advantage of that for the next couple of years, as a DAO contributor, you can make a ton of money while maybe living on a beach and freelancing at your own time, right? So that's as good as it gets. With that, I think I should stop ranting and go ahead and start taking questions, right? Some of the questions, Sumit, I'm going to take Kevin DAO example as many times as possible here. We will center the entire thing around that. So you will keep hearing that. Sachin has written 100% employee owner company alike, right? So I think, Sachin, what you are saying is there a 100% correlation between people who are contributing to the DAO and people who are holding their tokens? It's not necessary, but it's the contributor's choice whether you want to sell those tokens or not, right? Of course, tokens are very, very volatile and they can crash at any given point. Too many risks to be taken out there. But generally good practice is to maybe save 10% of your tokens. You would sell, let's say you do $1,000 bounty, you write a blog post for them, you get $1,000. worth of cabin tokens. In my opinion, this personal opinion, you should definitely sell 90% of those tokens right there. So you take $900 out, you got paid for your work. Now those $100 you are holding. Someday, if the price goes 10x, this 100 will become 1,000. If it doesn't go 10x and goes to zero, you're still protected because you took that $900 out. So when you work for a DAO, make sure that you get some money. There will be a ton of talk about how this token is going to 10x and 20x and 50x and 100x. Don't fall for it. This is one responsibility that falls on us as we move out of the salary culture, generally speaking, right? So make sure that you plan this. Don't get very greedy. There are too many risks when you are holding DAO tokens as well, right? So not 100% employee owner, but there is a fair amount of correlation. Sumit is asking, I want to create an NPO. Okay. So I think, Sumit, what you are asking is actually the classic case for DAO. Sorry. Essentially, when you are establishing a non-profit organization, this already has a mission. That's your biggest weapon out there. Look at Constitution DAO. Okay, what did Constitution DAO say? That okay, we will collect so much funds. It's for a good cause. We'll buy the Constitution, US Constitution, which is a very valuable item in itself. We'll bid for it, and then we will share it amongst the community. So the ownership will be shared with the community. A great mission to have, right? This is just as a mission, it is so exciting that people started giving them money. For a non-profit organization, creating a DAO should be not like an organization, but like a movement where you say, okay, this is what we are here to, let's say, solve pollution problem in a particular city. How do we do that? We don't know. We don't come up with the entire thing and say then everyone has to follow this, right? That's the biggest change culturally that we are going to see when it comes down to DAOs, that as employees, we are always told what to do, saying, okay, you are the marketing guy, write so many tweets, write so many blog posts, do this, do this, do this. In DAOs, what you have to do is you have to say, hey, now we've got to solve this problem. How do we do it? Let people come up with the ideas. Let other people come up with the funds. Try and facilitate that. Try and bring the community together. Like Cabin DAO, what they do is they have these community calls. They have these AMAs. They have these talks with founders. There's a calendar. If you go inside Cabin DAO, there is a calendar in the Discord group. You can subscribe to that. The moment you subscribe to that, all of these calls are on your calendar. And then you can attend these calls. And that creates that bond of trust. And you can see the founders, you can ask them questions. So you know that they're not going to run away with my money. It doesn't look like that, at least. Of course, there is a chance, but it's significantly reduced if you can talk to founder one-on-one like this on a call, right? There is a personal touch there. And you can ask questions. You can be as critical as needed, right? And this is sort of a micro form of democracy. With that mission, you will find a ton of people coming back. Also, not a DAO, but look at the example of Crypto Relief in India. That Sandeep, the founder of Polygon, started, right? He just posted a tweet saying, hey, I think I have to do something, and put out a wallet address and say, anyone who wants to contribute. Suddenly there was like $1 billion in there. And now he has a team that manages this. They put out a report, they have a newsletter, they post details on social media, because there needs to be a transparency. Of course, it is not a DAO. Crypto Relief is not a DAO, but it is almost working like a DAO, which means that people have the say and people have the transparency out there, right? And that, I think, is the most brilliant non-profit example of how a DAO could function. Okay, Sham is asking for the recorded video. Let us record it, then we'll send it to you, I'm sure. Sanjoli is asking a very, very relevant question. It sounds like great chaos. Today, DAOs are very chaotic at this stage, uh, which means you got to go to Discord, check who the moderators are, check who the guild leaders are, check who the founders are, and then contact them either on Discord or contact them on Twitter or some other place that you can find them. This is very chaotic. Right now, we don't have a member directory. We don't have some basic tools that are needed for DAOs to function. I think in a year or so, we are going to see some big, massive DAO tooling coming in. And that means that there will be a platform, there will be a website, the information will be presented in a correct manner, you will get access to people. All of these things will happen. That I think we have to wait for that time. Till that time, it's going to be great chaos. Uh, Absolutely no doubt about that. But in terms of uh, being early, uh, also means dealing with the chaos. When absolutely anyone and everyone can come and contribute and really would be easy to do this, then you won't have that edge, right? Then the bounty levels will go down, everything will go down. Today we are early. If you can deal with chaos, you have a great way ahead of you. uh, Rohit is asking, are DAOs regulated? Right now, not. Most jurisdictions, DAOs are not regulated. uh, this doesn't mean that they are illegal. It just means that we don't know how DAOs will be looked upon. Will there will be special laws for them? How do you look at, let's say, DAOs in terms of their token? Is it a security? Is it not? We don't know all of these things as of now. What I would say is, as a contributor or as a builder, someone who's building a DAO, don't worry about these things as of now. What you need to do is focus on building community. You don't need to launch a token to start a DAO. That's another myth right there, which says, okay, I have a DAO, I need a token. That's not necessary, right? You could fire up a Discord channel, you could start talking to people, you could bring them. Every time you do a call, there should be an energy that everyone brings in, right? And if people resonate with your mission, uh, even without technically having a token and being a DAO, you can almost function like a DAO for a long time. That is when there is time to, somewhere in between, there is time to go and raise funds, get the proper legal advice, get the proper marketing advice, and then go ahead and incorporate it, uh, do it as a proper business. But you don't need to wait for this. Today, you could start a DAO as a Discord group, Telegram channel, or Twitter ID, whatever you want to prefer, and uh, build a community. When the community gets strong enough, VCs will pour money at you. And that is when you will sort all of these things out, right? Don't launch the token immediately. That is my advice generally, if you are doing something. Okay, Nirmal is asking, guilds are project. We already discussed that. To put it in a simple way, bounties are specific assignments and can be solved by anyone, whoever solves it officially. Yes, exactly. Nirmal, you articulated this really well. So bounties are very specific assignments. This can be solved by anyone, uh, whoever has the skill, and there will be, of course, a guild leader or someone who will approve, and then the reward comes into your wallet directly, right? Nirupam is asking, can bots be members of DAO? Unfortunately, the answer is yes as of now. It should not be yes, because you don't want to deal with a bunch of bots, and you don't want bots to game your DAO as well. But I think this problem is more to do with Sybil resistance. So DAOs have various problems to be solved: governance, onboarding, tooling, organization, communication. One of the problems is also Sybil resistance. Sybil resistance means anyone who is not a person, like you solve the captcha, right? That is to determine that you are a person, should not be able to get into your DAO. But today, sadly, bots can get into the DAO and they can game it for a while. Uh, we'll have to wait for those tools to come in. Pratik is right. Pratik says guilds are basically departments working as a force. That's absolutely perfect. Nidhi is saying, how do DAOs earn money? That's an interesting question. So this aligns with your mission right there, right? You got to figure out how your community eventually makes money. If you are a business as a DAO, that's easy. That's not a problem. You know that this is my business, this is the amount of money that I need, I'm going to invest it here and then make money out of it. But mostly organically popped up DAOs uh, will make money when the community decides that, okay, this is our revenue path. Ideally, today it has to be protocol driven, which means that there is some software product that you've made which generates revenue for the product. So let's come back to the cabin DAO example. Now, cabin DAO, of course, people are putting in money today, but how is it going to make money? They will eventually rent out these cabins, right? So they're building cabins right now. Common people are contributing their labor, their money to for this to be built, and then eventually, whenever these cabins are built, they will rent it out, and that rent will come back to the DAO treasury. So your money making revenue model, right, is almost exactly like a business. It could be various. You could have a service DAO which provides, let's say, service. Let There's a DAO called Llama Community, right? They provide treasury management services to other DAOs. So of course there is revenue to be made there, and people who contribute, they get paid with that revenue. So that is how generally you should look at DAO and how they make money. But this was a very interesting observation and question. Okay, Abhay is asking, are there ample of non-technical bounties, or are bounties first come first served? Yes, so there are a ton of non-technical bounties out there. Of course, coders have a lot of challenges to be solved, but I would say that in terms of imbalance of demand and supply, non-tech talent doesn't exist. Web3, no one understands marketing. Hardly any people who understand the business side of things. Everyone's just a techie. This gives you an edge as a non-techie to say, okay, I understand that there are only so many people in the industry. Now I can contribute and be one of them, right? So I would say non-technical boundary is great place to be right now. Abhijit is asking, why government always choose Dove over DAO? Dove, I don't know what you mean. Is this the soap? I'm not sure, man. If you can clarify below in the next comment, what do you mean by DOVE, Dove? Uh, I think it should be some kind of joke, but we want to hear this. Manoj is asking, how can DAOs stay linked and govern sub-DAOs? Uh, Frankly speaking, today sub-DAO seems like a very far-fetched concept to me. It just feels like that. Because to run a simple DAO, there is not enough tools, right? To run a sub-DAO and then governance complexities and legal complexities and everything, I think, of course, it's possible and a lot of people are doing it. But establish a DAO first that really, really works, that has a good, sustainable model in the first place. Then think about sub DAOs. It is almost like uh, creating a conglomerate at that stage, right? First, you become Reliance Oil, and then you start second and third and fourth and fifth. But this first company should at least be making significant amount of money and should be sustainable in the first place. If the model isn't proven and you are just replicating a flawed model, it is going to add to your problems. It is going to compound your problems in terms of organizing and managing this. I would say if you have a successfully running DAO, definitely this is an experiment to be run. If that DAO is self-sustaining and community is happy and some people are making decent amount of money out of it, uh, then you are in a great place. But I don't think I have read too much about sub DAOs. I don't think I have even seen too many successful sub DAOs being created out there. Mostly it's at an experimental stage. So I would say create a DAO. Probably I would think you would need a founder material leader there as well, who can lead this DAO in itself, and then spin it off in some way. Yeah, that's all I can say right now. I don't think I have a clear answer to that. Nirupam is asking, what are the steps to launch a DAO and how to manage their objectives of the group thus created? Okay, so Nirupam, I think uh, you can use a ton of platforms out there. One click without code, you can spin up your own DAO. But I would say don't do that. Don't create a DAO right at the beginning. What you should do is create a Discord group, start doing some calls, invite 10 people in it. Let that 10 people become 50, 50 become 100, 100 become 200. Uh, as it grows, there will be one time when you will realize that this is getting too big to handle for me. That is when you know that your DAO is ready. Right now, you can realize that you have enough contributors, enough people uh, who will fuel this DAO. Otherwise, your DAO, there is actually a video that we made right at the middle of the bull run when DAOs were all the hype, saying DAOs will be a ghost town in the bear market. That will happen because people need to make significant money out of your DAO to be attached to your DAO. As I mentioned, this the operational challenges of things make it impossible for one person to contribute to multiple DAOs today. It's just impossible. You have to follow too many feeds. You have to talk to too many people. So today, at least, people will be contributing to two other DAOs with your DAO. If they are not making significant money out of your DAO, they're going to lose interest and choose something else, right? So I would say first 100 people in a Discord group, then you start thinking, and then you use one of these DAO tooling platforms that let you spin up a DAO. Like Kali DAO is an Indian project actually that lets you spin up your DAO immediately. Earl is asking, how can one contribute in a DAO? Earl, just the bounties is a great way to go ahead and contribute in a DAO. Of course, you can ask to be a guild leader, project leader. You could bring in your own project proposals. You could do a ton of things in that sense. But what I would say is just check their bounty board. You will know where their priorities lie, right? And you will also see how these are organized in that sense. Let me actually go ahead and show you how the bounty board looks. If I can share my screen, yes, I can. Okay. Let me just see. Okay. There is this app called clarity.so where generally people are putting up their bounties, and yeah, okay, I can share my screen and I can show it to you. So when you look at this, you will see that this is how every DAO's job board is, right? They will have these bounties. You can click on the project, you can see who has created this project. They say, okay, contributor payout policy needs to be created testing notes. Now, this is what they have posted as an activity task, right? So this is almost like a Trello board for DAOs, right? To coordinate remotely and asynchronously, right? You don't all need to be on uh, on the board to start working on it. Uh, Generally, there will be roadmaps where you will see that, okay, this is what needs to be achieved, and you can pick up stuff from there and start doing this. Uh, Mostly, you will have to require some token to contribute here, and you will see that this is a very, very easy interface to just look at and say, okay, uh, I can do this, I can't do this. That's all. So this is absolutely easy for you to do. You would need a wallet, you would need a few tokens of whatever DAO you are contributing to, and you are ready to go. That's all you need. Shresht is saying how to choose people who should participate in decision making, since every person is not qualified today. Yeah, this is interesting because we don't know the answer to this. Ideally speaking, there will be an identity mechanism where you identify people almost like a committee head, right? Who decides what color will go on your logo? It will be, let's say, your design department head, right? So you should be able to appoint heads who will be in charge of decision making. And of course, larger decisions everyone can vote on. Trivial decisions, some department heads will take care of. That's the ideal model. We don't have the tools to do all of these things right now. There are a ton of discords that will give you a moderator role, a guild leader role, and then there is certain compensation that comes with it. But there is no one way to say that, okay, uh, everyone votes or everyone doesn't vote or only these people vote. It depends on what policies you want to form in your DAO. Vishwanath is asking, which is the best place to register DAO for Indians? DAOs don't need to be registered. You start a Discord channel, that's your DAO. You don't need to register it on day one. It doesn't need to be a company, right? Nirupam is asking, can DAOs be formed without blockchain? What's the value of blockchain? That's a great question as well. Yes. So why Web3 is needed here? This is a common question that you should keep asking. What I would say here is look at your current job roles, right? Whatever you are doing, even as a freelancer, if you are working somewhere, how much transparency do you have? You don't have that much transparency. How much ownership of the business that you're contributing to do you have? Not too much. You don't own anything like that. And then the third thing, which is uh, what kind of what kind of permissions do you need to take? Today, if you want to go and design, let's say, a new logo for McDonald's, can you do that? You just can't. In a DAO, the work is permissionless. So you could come up and say, hey, I don't like Ethereum's logo today. Of course, Ethereum is not a DAO, but still, in a DAO, in Cabin DAO, you could say that I don't like the website color. I want to change it to orange, very bright orange. If enough people vote for that, it will get changed, right? So this is a very interesting proposition that we've never thought about. We always thought that you need to have a job to do something good, right? Now you don't need a job to do something good, and that's the best part about what you're doing. Uh, these are the reasons we need blockchain as well, right? To bring in transparency, to make it permissionless, and to give people ownership. These are the three reasons why you would need blockchain for any use case out there. And Abhay is asking, is there an upside for NGOs to become DAOs? What possibly can be done that couldn't be done before? Okay, so this is a repeat of the previous question. Uh, why blockchain? So NGO plus blockchain is equal to DAO in some way, right? You are already doing what a DAO does as an NGO. But what you're doing is you're still gated, right? You are not permissionless. I can't come and contribute. Of course, I can give donation, but I can give my labor. I will have to talk to some manager. And if that manager doesn't like me, then I don't get the work. Uh, that's the reason why an NGO should become a DAO. I'm not saying that every NGO needs to become a DAO. That's not true as well. Generally speaking, in an environment where there is coordination required between a large group of people, let's say you are mobilizing 1,000 people to do something towards your mission, uh, coordination is required. That is where you require a DAO. Or second is where there is some kind of transparency required. Today, if let's say 100 people are questioning that your NGO might not be using the money in the best way, then put it on blockchain. Let everyone see what the money is being used for, right? Those are the two reasons why an NGO should become a DAO. Absolutely not to say that every NGO should become a DAO. Okay. Mohammad Akbar Hussain is asking, I'm from Bangladesh. How can I join the DAO? So there is no the DAO, right? There are various DAOs. DAO is just a form of organization that we are talking about. Your geography doesn't matter at all. What I will actually do is I will give you a DAO that you can join, all of you, and experience it, right? What I'll do is I'll paste this link in the chat. It's called Odyssey DAO. Odyssey DAO is a place where you join, you create a wallet, uh, you learn a little bit about Web3, no serious money involved, nothing involved, but you get a taste of what it means by creating a DAO or working for a DAO in that sense. So I pasted that link in the chat. Tarun, I think I missed Tarun's question here, which says few DAOs for developers. There's a DAO called Developer DAO. You should definitely join that. That is probably one of the best DAOs out there. I'm pasting that link as well, so you guys can do it here. Okay, good that I caught that question. Mohit has asked, I want to join some DAO and contribute to them. I pasted some links. I think that's good. Mohit is asking, is decentralized organization be legal in Indian government like normal organization? Mohit, right now it is unregulated. So it is not legal, it is not illegal. As of now, DAOs are generally registering in this US state called Wyoming. Wyoming has legalized DAOs and has a ton of regulation around it. So if you're creating a DAO, mostly your investors will tell you to locate in Wyoming, right? So that's the jurisdiction to go after. Nikhil is asking, what if people don't actively contribute to in DAO? Then your mission is not exciting enough, right? People are never wrong. Markets are never wrong. Something that you are doing is always wrong. So if people are not contributing, means they don't care about the mission that you are on. Your mission isn't exciting enough for them. Akshay is asking, will it become future choice? I think, Akshay, what you're asking is, will DAOs be the choice for organizations in the future? Definitely, I strongly believe that DAOs are the way to go. But it will take 5 to 10 years before it is mainstream and everyone will start contributing. Mukta has written, Delaware is coming up with some DAO regulations. Definitely, a lot of places are now thinking how to treat DAOs. Hassan is asking, what do you think of those DAOs as service tools? So service DAOs is a major vertical inside DAOs. A lot of groups are coming together and forming these service DAOs. Think of service DAOs as your ad agency. You wanted some ads designed. You know that there is no point in hiring an in-house person for this or creating a department for this. It's a specialized skill. Let me get an agency. So what is an agency? It is almost like a extension of your organization that comes in for very specific work, does that work, gets out of the way, and then you take it forward. So think of service DAOs as ad agencies that you use when you want to, and they are super specialists, so they are very efficient and they are very good at whatever they do. Llama community, in that sense, is a service DAO. It's treasury management services for DAOs. Okay, Deepak is saying, how much will it cost to start a DAO? 0 rupees. no money to start a DAO. It's free. Go to Discord, start a channel, your DAO is up and running. How to start a DAO, Akshay? I just answered that. So Discord is DAO. DAO lives in whatever communication medium that you should give it to, right? It could be a Telegram group, it could be a WhatsApp group, it doesn't matter. Jayendra is asking, I know the founder of Equinox.business, one of the first DAOs in India. They're doing a great job. Okay. I think this is for the growth school guys. Equinox business. I haven't heard of this, but okay. Seems like a good Indian company. Yeah, in India has a ton of activity going on in terms of creating these DAOs, also contributing to these DAOs. There are a ton of people who are already working for different DAOs out there. Okay, Akshay is asking how to get DAO tokens. DAOs will generally tell you where to get these tokens from. Either they are on an exchange or they are on Uniswap. So you need to set up the wallet and get these tokens from Uniswap. Arjun is asking, please talk about wallet portfolio. Are you talking about the market pricing? I'm not sure if that's what we are supposed to discuss today. But if there is some specific question about markets, happy to answer. Put it in a follow-up question, so I'll take it up. But generally, we are not here to discuss the markets. I know the portfolios are down. We are seeing that for everyone, but it's all learning. Take it as learning. Nirmal is asking, as a founder of a DAO, will one have high monetary benefits? If yes, how does this happen? Does he or she or core team take chunk of tokens for themselves, just like equity in Web2? Yes, you are right. So generally, DAOs have team allocations. So the core team that first came together and did this, either it is founders or either it is founders plus a few more people that joined very, very early. There is a portion of tokens reserved for them, but these tokens are locked. These tokens are locked for at least a few years. So if in a few years you do a good job, those will be worth a lot of money. If you don't do a good job, they can be worth zero. So you're taking the risk. You are also going to get high returns if you succeed. So that's the monetary benefit. Of course, it is higher than normal people because you are the ones who are putting in the hard work and taking that risk. Namrata is asking, what do you think the main factor for DAO growth? Right now, I would easily say it is tooling. There are enough ideas, there are enough people, everything is there. Tooling is what is lacking right now. With the right tools, this should take off. Namrata has also asked, how adaptable should DAOs be? This is a very broad question. A DAO that is, let's say, a service DAO generally doesn't need to be that adaptable. It's okay. If you make money, great. If you don't make money, people are doing their freelance jobs, right? Somewhere. It's not that hard and fast. But if you've designed a product that needs to work and protocol that should not get hacked and a bunch of things around it, which is, let's say, like ENS DAO, right? ENS is Ethereum Naming Service Protocol. They have a DAO around it. It better work, because if that code doesn't work, your community is going to leave, your token is going to dump, and you're done for. Also, they have a bunch of funded competitors now, right? Unstoppable Domains and a few others. You need to adapt to stay ahead of the curve. If not, then some entity is going to come and take your market share, right? So, of course, it depends on what you're doing. How this is almost like asking how adaptable should organizations be, right? Some organizations need to be very adaptable. Some organizations are monoliths with a lot of moat and a lot of leverage. They don't need to be that adaptable. Shrest is asking about some chain. I don't think I've heard of this chain, Shrest. be wary of all of these new projects. Okay, don't go ahead and buy all the tokens uh, out there that you can think of. These are highly risky tokens. Okay, how to create a DAO? And then start a Discord group. That's your DAO. I'm not giving you DAO launch tools as yet, but you can Google Kali DAO if you want to. Ideally, don't do that entire smart contract token thing at first. Keep it for a while later when you have 100, 200 members at least. Akshay is asking, I'm a mechanical engineering background and 5 years experience. I want to transit my career to blockchain development. Whew. Blockchain development is a whole big rabbit hole that you can get into, depending on the specifics of how you can code and what kind of, what kind of coding do you want to do. I would say there are a ton of courses out there. There are a ton of coding courses. I think Learn Web3 DAO has tracks where they take Web2 developers and make them into Web3 developers. You can learn from any of these channels. There is enough material out there if you really want to go ahead and do it. Okay, Shak is asking, if is DAO a type of blockchain? I don't know. Definitely not. Uh, DAOs are not a kind of blockchain. DAOs are a kind of layer that is built on a blockchain. So DAOs could be built on Ethereum, DAOs could be built on Polygon, DAOs could be built on Solana. This is what a blockchain is. And on top of that, you put a layer which manages your coordination governance via a particular token. That is a DAO, right? It could be linked to a decentralized application. It could be just a Discord group, doesn't matter. Nitin is asking, how scalable and reliable DAOs? Reliable, definitely not. Highly unreliable at this stage. Eventually, hopefully, they will be more reliable. How scalable? I don't think too much scalable at this stage as well, because beyond 1,000 people in a Discord group, how do you communicate? How do you keep people in and out and onboarding? A lot of things to be done. Okay. Abhijit was trying to mention soap only when he said Dove. So that joke is back full circle. Manoj is asking, can a DAO be operated just using fiat? Sorry, I don't think that's possible. That's a cooperative. What you're talking about is a cooperative. You can go and register a cooperative. If you are a DAO running a business, say for example, a retailer of fashion goods, do you sell products in? Why would you do a DAO if you are a retailer of fashion goods? You don't need a DAO. So I would say don't fit DAO everywhere. Every organization doesn't need to be a DAO, right? And uh, fashion goods retail, I would guess that it doesn't need to be a DAO. You're selling something very clear. It's an e-commerce business at the end of the day, right? Uh, Satish Kumar is asking, is there a scope for apartment association to manage the gated community? Uh, so apartment societies could be some form of DAOs. That is actually what Cabin DAO is trying to do. When they say decentralized cities, it means these will be large communities of millions of people who will have gating done through NFTs or tokens, or who will have coordination mechanisms and laws being formed with governance of some kind, right? And I think that's what they are looking at doing. I would say uh, this definitely falls into it. In current state, it may not make sense to have an apartment association that's a DAO, unless all of them are crypto head nerds who want to do some kind of funny experiment. That would be cool, actually. Uh, Yeah, can you suggest the best and leading DAO examples at the end of session? Pratik, I put some links here. I think you can start with Odyssey DAO. Odyssey DAO is doing some pretty good work. Uh, Akshay is asking, can I become a blockchain developer from mechanical? You can become anything from anything. This is not the era where you think of your degrees, worthless degrees, mostly speaking. You need to learn whatever you need to learn. If you are hungry for knowledge, you will learn and you will become rocket scientist. In this era, you're learning from GrowthSchool online. You should not think of your limitations. Literally unlimited power today. Just on YouTube, there is unlimited power for you. Mm, okay, I think Akshay has a couple of questions repeated. Nirmal has a follow-up question. When you build a community, say 10 to 50 to 200, then move into a DAO model, how can you engage people or make people contribute at the initial stage? Uh, your mission. See, this is a very, very clear thesis that I have, that your mission has to be exciting enough. Today, let's say if your mission in India is to figure out what is the solution to, let's say, farmers' suicide, people would want to contribute. There will be n number of people who would want to contribute to this project. Think of how you are going to add value to the society, to someone's life. People will come and contribute in various ways. If you need to sell things to someone and say, hey, come and contribute, I'll give you rewards, I'll do this, I'll do that. Temporarily, it will work. Eventually, it will die down. And that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is be on a mission that you really, really believe in, uh, communicate that mission, and let anyone and everyone come and participate in the upside. Don't look at making a ton of money only for yourself. As a founder, you will make enough money. But uh, everyone in your community has to make money. With that motivation, people will come. If people are not coming, most likely your mission is not that exciting. Vamshi, you will have to learn how to do this. Asking to sign with ETH is equal to MetaMask or any other wallet that you have today. Akshay, Discord is an app. If you Google that, you will understand what starting a Discord channel means. Arjun is right. People do get bored of voting on everything. So right now, the governance systems are really in their infancy. Uh, People don't want to vote on absolutely everything. Uh, Ideally, I think the uh, construct somehow will turn out to be very close to the parliamentary system that we have today. Today, if they want to construct a road outside your home, they don't come and ask you vote, right? What you've done is you voted, you've elected representatives who take these decisions for you. And then it is scalable, right? Otherwise, it's not really scalable. Either people just won't vote or it'll be too much chaos at this stage. So we are waiting for these governance systems to evolve as well. Okay, Arun is asking if there is NGO DAO who works for blinds, how will they improve the physical world? Uh, as it's an NGO, who will check what work has been done? Example, funds we get from abroad, how they will submit the work. Arun, what you are asking is the business side of the DAO that you need to figure it out. If you don't know, uh, let's say an NGO for a DAO, forget about DAOs at this stage. Okay, an NGO for blind people. Okay, there are enough blind people who need some kind of support, maybe uh, you know, taking care of their basic stuff, to, let's say, translating books into braille. Okay, this is a good noble cause to pursue. uh, you got to figure out what are the activities that your NGO will do, uh, who will check the work as is done, you will have to self-appoint these leaders, like there are guild leaders in cabin DAO. You'll have to appoint these leaders to check this work has been done or not, right? So what you're asking for is actually the entire model of how an NGO would work. That you will have to figure out. How to merge that NGO running successful model into a DAO is something that I can tell you, because I don't know how to run an NGO, right? Uh, Aditya is asking, basically we need a community. DAO is a community. Technically speaking, everything is a community today. Right? Infosys is a community. IIT Bombay is a community. Everything is a community. So yes, you need those first 100 people who will align with your mission. Deepak has asked another complicated, heavily loaded questions. I'm really glad that all you guys are thinking in such depth uh, about DAOs. Uh, Deepak, definitely, I do hope someday a DAO will be a political party, or DAO will be the biggest funder of a political party. The day that happens, we know that we are going to change this world, right? Uh, Today, I think it would be very difficult because of the regulation, but to bring in so much money and do all of that. But a true political party which wants transparency should be a DAO. If you want transparency, make it a DAO. Let us see all your transactions on chain and let us see how honest you are, right? Ideally, that should happen. That is the mission towards which all of us are working. Why are we so excited about working in Web3 today? It's because this is the potential of Web3. What Deepak has defined here, that a political party being a DAO, imagine the consequence of this. This is world changing for all of us. This will reduce corruption. This will let youth participate more easily. This will bring in transparency where you can see every expense of a political party. This is the future that we want. And that is why we are working in Web3. This is what motivates us. And it's a great mission to be in. If this happens in the next 10 years, we have a big win on our hands, but we've all got to work towards it. Okay. I think all the links are here. Sachin is asking if we go with taking up majority voting counts to support a decision, wouldn't there be situations where, yes, so answer is we don't know, Sachin, as yet. So one way to vote is, of course, with the amount of money that you have invested, which is shareholding voting pattern. You're voting with your money. You have more money, you get more votes. Second is 1% one vote. Third level of voting is uh, your vote has weightage based on the contribution that you made to the DAO itself. Right. So if you contributed to the DAO, I don't know even how to define that, but if you contributed to the DAO, you deserve more votes, or your vote deserves more weightage, which is how it works in real life. Right? That's something that we will have to see how it evolves. Today, it is token-based voting. Rohit says, where can we find our opportunities at marketing sales? Go to Cabin DAO, creator cabins. You will find enough people. Go to developer DAO. You will find so many marketing and sales bounties out there. It's insane. Deepak is saying Sri Lanka should legalize DAOs that will help drive projects and economy. I don't follow politics too much, so I don't know, man. But I think any country that legalizes DAOs is going to get a lot of smart people working for them. And there's a lot of smart organizations, a lot of money to be capitalized on. So hopefully someone does it. Rahil is asking, as a developer, if I create a simple landing page about DAOs, what will be the heading for services which I can offer today and get and can earn and get clients? Uh, Rahil, I don't think you need a landing page. You could have, if you are a developer, your GitHub GitHub account is the account, right? in some way that makes everyone's life easier. Your Twitter is your resume today. So mostly DAOs will not ask for some kind of resume out there. If you have one, great man. Make a landing page, but eventually you will have to contribute to a DAO. Talk inside the DAO, join their community calls, and apply for bounties. These three, that's it, the answer of how you can get work. Akshay, same question. Talk in the DAO, join their community calls, apply for bounties. Is how you make money from DAO. Sachin is asking, can you share any DAO content creators if you are aware? Content creators, I don't know. Bankless DAO. Follow Bankless DAOs. Bankless is their YouTube channel, right? They talk a lot about DAOs. Of course, they'll talk about everything else also, but enough DAO. There is one guy called Kevin Owoki. I'll paste his Twitter account here. This guy is putting out some really good content about DAOs. I don't like to call it content, man. It just feels like demeaning it. He's putting out his thoughts in a lot of ways, right? So I'll paste his Twitter account here. I think definitely you guys should go and follow him. If you meet him, tell him that I told you to follow him. He should take my call. And yeah, where were we? We still have a few questions left. I think this is going really interesting for me. I'm getting to refine a lot of my thoughts out here.
Pareen,
Yeah,
yeah, let's take last two questions. We are at 9:10,
sure.
and we
Yeah.
have another session at 9:30.
Sure. So last two questions. Okay. Satish is asking, once Discord is set up, bunch of people will come together and start performing group mission. Then why do they need token and blockchain? They don't. But when these people become 1,000, they need something, right? So try it out, Satish. I would say you are taking the right approach. Create a group, create a mission, set up a Discord, bring people together. One day you will feel the need to have a token and a blockchain. That is when you will know, oh, okay, now I know exactly why I need a token and a blockchain. Last question, Anita has asked, once the participants of DAO vote for certain decisions, someone has to conclude on the same. Here, do we create such roles? Will it not be kind of centralization? Yeah, I know. This exists. Can't do anything about this right now. We don't have everything on a protocol level, right? So not everything can be a smart contract coded stuff, but bounties and a few other things can be automated. So more and more decentralized protocols that plug into the DAO, this will get automated eventually. Today, definitely someone has to execute the decision as well. Awesome. Maybe what I'll do is I'll drop the BuildersTribe Discord link. You can go and check out, what kind of activity goes on in there. We are not a DAO as yet, but we operate almost like a DAO. So this is the Discord channel. Hope it makes sense.
Yeah. Finally, if you could just talk about the grants program that we have launched, I think.
Yes. So now I hope that 87 people listening here will create 87 DAOs. And you will go ahead and experiment with this for a few weeks. Figure out what are the problems that you're facing. Some of them will go ahead and create actual, real, thriving projects, right? So if you are creating not just DAOs, of course, but any Web3 project, go ahead and apply at build.show/GrowthSchool. You will have to articulate what you're doing really well. This application goes to a ton of investors, a ton of VCs, analysts, everyone come in and look at this, and they will choose the top projects. Those top projects will get a grant up to 10 lakh rupees. This is a sort of first investment that goes into your project. And eventually it doesn't stop there. After doing this, BuildersTribe team will support you with mentoring till the time you get your funding closed. So if you're serious about building a particular Web3 project, if it is a DAO, all the more great. If not, any Web3 project that you're building during this program, after this program, go ahead and apply at build.so/growth school. Discord link seems invalid. Maybe I'll just drop the Twitter link and see what's happened here with Discord. Yeah, I think you already have built growth school link, so should work.
Interesting. I guess it was fun to take all the questions. A lot of questions that people are burning with from a lot of days. Guys, how was the session? Type yes, no in the chat. How was it? Did you have fun? Quickly. Awesome. Fun.
Wow.
Made up. all the comments.
Thank you so much, everyone. I enjoyed this as well, and I think this cohort is full of promising people out there. And with this course, I think you guys are going to benefit so much in terms of getting into Web3, and then do a bunch of cool stuff. Maybe someday build Growth School DAO. Right? that would be a good experiment to do.
On the way. Thank you so much, Pareen, for joining us, and thank you everyone for hopping onto this call. Very wonderful, and we are gearing up the pace. We have 2 sessions today. So the next session is on Discord, and we are talking about how to do your own research. We have been talking about how to do research, what exactly the things, but we actually have someone talking about how to do it, taking you through the steps. So take some rest, 15-20 minutes, and we'll see you once again. Thank you so much, Pareen, for joining us today. And
thank you, Om, and thanks everyone.
Thank you. I think, yeah, that's it for now. We'll see you. Good night.